welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode of the Penny Mob Talk. I love numbers, I love finance, I love talking about money, and this is what I do for my job. So what is a better way to share my knowledge with you guys than to make a video about it and use the Sidemen as an example? There are 7 members that made up the Sidemen, and KSI is one of them. As much as you see them as YouTubers, they are their own entrepreneurs and they are their own business in their own right. So what is a better way to learn how they operate as YouTubers and run their business than to look into their financial statements and see how much they actually make on YouTube? What I have done so far is look into the Sidemen clothing business and looked at their financial statement, like the balance sheet, to gain insight into how they are running the business. So in the balance sheets, we can see what are their assets, what their liabilities, and how much are the equities in the business for the shareholders. What do analysts in investment banking do is that they analyze the past performance and apply assumptions to project the future earnings and the future performance of a company. In this case, I use past performance from 2015 to 2018 and project 2019. So far, what I have gauged from their balance sheet is that they are cash rich. They run a very profitable business with their Sidemen clothing, with their merchandise, etc. 2018, the Sidemen clothing business has 1.7 million in cash sitting at the bank. From the business alone, they were paid out 2.2 million. Split between 7 people, and that's about £320,000 each in dividend. The net worth of Sidemen clothing business is around 3 million. So it means each of the member has equity in this business, and so if they were to sell it, they would get £447. So that is the asset worth, not to be confused with the dividend paid in cash. In this first round of analyzing the Sidemen clothing business, I give all the Sidemen £320,000 from dividend in cash and £447 in equity. The reason why I did not include the YouTube revenues that they would get from the Sidemen channel is because they actually don't have a balance sheet. Now, in the second round, I'm going to look at their YouTube channels as individual. So each of their YouTube that they run is their own business. If you think the Sidemen get their money from YouTube straight to their personal bank, no. It means they would have to pay a 40% tax rate, which they probably don't want to, or who wants to pay more tax? So my analysis in this case is very much in the same pattern as with the Sidemen clothing business, starting with the highest number of subscribers, KSI. In 2019, his dividend was £1.3 million, a slight dip from 1.7 million in 2018. I suspect he used a lot of this money towards his training and towards his video productions, because he has spent around £300,000 alone on video props. I know, God. And his YouTube equity is £497. In second place, with the second highest number of subscribers, is Harry. Harry is an interesting case because he is a resident of Guernsey, which is a tax haven for a lot of businesses and a lot of private equity, for example. And it is difficult to get my hands on his financial statements. So I have to make an assumption and assume that he made an average of what the other 6 made on YouTube dividend. And for that, I gave him a 1.5 million in YouTube dividends and 1.3 million in YouTube equity. Next person is Sidemen. In 2019, he paid himself £1.5 million in YouTube dividend and 450 in YouTube equity. Vicstar, aka Bikram, is one of the most successful, in my opinion, Sidemen. So in 2019, he paid himself £3.4 million in dividend, and his YouTube is currently worth around £5 million. He's only 24. And he's doing extremely well. Next is Toby with 3.8 million subscribers. Applying the same principles, in 2019, Toby paid himself £5 million from his YouTube. Currently, he has £200,000 in equity. Next person is Ethan. So in 2019, he paid himself around £678,000, and he has £323,000 of equity in his YouTube channel. Last but not least is Josh, who paid himself £1.5 million from YouTube dividend and £1.3 million of equity in his YouTube channel. Vicstar had the best year on YouTube in 2019, hands down. In round 3, I look at their property portfolio. As with any rich people, they accumulate assets, and one of them is in the form of real estate, aka property, where they could buy and rent it out, mortgage free, preferably, because they're cash rich. They don't need to take out a mortgage. And there are only 3 Sidemen I can see that has properties as a business, starting with KSI, who in 2019 owns £2.6 million worth of properties in his portfolio and paid himself £56,000 in profits. In terms of equity, he has £410,000. The next Sideman who has a property business is Simon, who invested £358,000, and in terms of equity, he has £23,000. Lastly, the Sideman with a real estate business is Vicstar, who invested £417,000 and currently has £30,000 of equity. Keep in mind that this does not account for personal investments, say if they own their current house or if they have other properties in their own personal accounts. That is not a letting business, for example. And in the last round, I look at other businesses that the Sidemen own. That does not include YouTube or property, so they do have other ventures that they are working on, starting with KSI and his The Throne business, which is worth around £3 million. Next up is Simon with £4.9 million of equity in another business. Toby also has a clothing line and is currently worth around £4,000. And lastly, Josh also has a clothing line and is currently worth around £40,000. Not having a balance sheet doesn't mean other Sidemen don't have a business of their own. Simon is starting a podcast with Randolph, and I can see this going really well for him in the future. And for Ethan, he looks like he's going to start a fitness business. As you can see, he has been going ham in his fitness journey and he has been doing really, really well. Who knows, he might bring out his own fitness chain or his own gym. In 2019, the Sideman that came out on top is actually Vicstar, with £10 million worth of wealth and cash, followed by KSI at £8.5 million, and then followed by Simon with £8 million worth of cash and wealth in 2019. If I was to give the best estimates, I would put Harry between Vicstar and Simon, because he has 15 million followers, he's part of the Sidemen. I'm sure he has properties here and there. So that is it, guys. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy and learn something from this. I really enjoy making this one because I love talking about numbers. If you would like me to review their 2020 earnings, please comment down below. And I see you all in the next video.